Alright, so Fanning the Flames number 2 has touched the fuck down, my fellow 8-bit hedonists, and as Sainted Magnus is evidently busy picking out a more supportive model of push-up bra, it falls to me to wade through the briny, fathomless depths of your drooling ignorance. I'm only teasing, guys. You know I'd follow you all into hell, you magnificent sons of bitches. But it feels like I'm missing something. I don't have a hooded sweatshirt, but I do have this guy right over here. What's that? Oh, I think that works. Alright, now that we're set, now that that's taken care of, let's rip the safety strip off this home pregnancy test, shall we? House of Lava Gaming asks, "Hey guys, love the podcast. I was just wondering if any of you have played the free low requirements PC survival horror game SCP Containment Breach. I know you guys are normally into consoles, but I think you, mainly Alpha, as he plays PC and loves survival horror, should really try it. I'm not kidding when I say no game has ever scared me as much as that game, and I've played many survival horror games. I would even say that this is scarier than Amnesia Dark Descent, or my penchant for parenthetical notation. So I would really recommend you guys give this game a try." Alright, to answer your first query, I've never played it. To answer your second, bitchin'. I'll have to check it out. And third, why mainly Alpha? I'd say of the 4 members of the 8-Bit podcast, I'm arguably the most PC-oriented gamer of the bunch. I tend to review games on console, because that's usually the most popular version of the game, the version that's going to actually sell. Oh, sorry. If Sainted Magnus is watching this, he's been purchasing Sony products for so long he's likely forgotten what the word sell means. To sell is to proffer goods or services in exchange for currency. It's that thing the PS2 did an awful fucking lot of, and the thing the PS3 and PSP do on opposite day. Next! Thomas Varney asks via Failbook, "You guys ever played Fallout 1 and 2? I know Razor has played 3 and New Vegas." I've played all the Fallout games, actually, even the abominably awful spin-off whose name I'm sworn never to speak lest Lucifer ascend from the lowest chambers of hell to claim my firstborn as his own and rain fiery vengeance upon all sapient life. Simply put, Fallout 1 was fantastic. Fallout 2 was even better, in my opinion. Fallout 3 was different, but still just as good as the previous games, and New Vegas was a half-finished piece of shit whose narrative could be circumvented entirely just by speaking to characters in a different sequence. And let me just say this for the defenders of Obsidian Entertainment who proclaim that, like, Obsidian was screwed by Bethesda, man. They didn't have enough time to finish the game. Okay. For the sake of your puerile conjecture and hearsay-oriented argument, let's say that's the case. What about Dungeon Siege 3? Bethesda had nothing to do with that game, and it was still glitchier than a Max Headroom commencement speech. What about Alpha Protocol? That wasn't Bethesda either. They had 6 butt-fucking years to work on that game. Sega gave them all the fucking time in the world and even allowed them to push the game back not once, but I think 3 times. Alright, so why was Alpha Protocol a half-finished buggy fucking disaster? Bottom line, Obsidian has worked for every major publisher, from ZeniMax to Square Enix to Microsoft to Sega, and without fail, their releases are a barely-ass functional, broken fucking mess. And just as invariably, their excuse is always, well, we were screwed. Motherfucker, the cap on China's Vicodin bottle doesn't get screwed that fucking much. The laws of probability denote that you buck-passing piss ants are lying through the hole in your design philosophy. If you generated finished games like you generate excuses, you'd be bigger than Activision. Fuck! Extreme Gamer 9951 asks, "Who is the British guy?" I don't know, some kind of vagabond that wandered in off the streets, stinking a Marmite and unprotected back alley butt sex with a syphilitic stranger. We hired him on as the 8-bit custodian, but he keeps drinking all the Windex and asking for the mop's phone number, so now we just let him sit it in our podcast so he has something to do and just pray he doesn't break anything that isn't an immediate relative's hymen. Too far? Fuck you. Sam Webster, also known as Afro Blue on YouTube, and you should definitely check his show out, asks, "Question for the next podcast. What's your guilty pleasure on YouTube?" 4 words. Hannah Minx, no sound. When Dead or Alive gets titty physics that realistic, you can color me fucking intrigued. For purely academic reasons, naturally. Or unnaturally, as it were. Austin McElrath asks, hey guys, I've heard the rumor from Retro Studio that there may be a Star Fox and Metroid Fusion Saga game with 2 gaming worlds meet. I'll be honest, I touched on it a little bit in the last podcast, but it sounds like shit. But you know what else sounds like shit? Peanut butter and jelly. But you better believe I piled shitloads of peanut butter bedecked fucking Wonder Bread into the cynicism dispenser attached to my beautiful face during adolescence, because PB&J is certified boss, alright? I love me some fucking Star Fox, a position you can see me promulgate in my shameless plug Star Fox series retrospective video. I'm basically ambivalent to Metroid. I didn't give a fuck on the NES. I give slightly more of a fuck on the SNES, and the GameCube and Wii iterations saw my give-a-fucks plummet like the fucking Nihei index. But I will say this to some of you leering fucking e-perverts. It would be nice if I could type the word Samus Aran into a Google image search without needing a double shot of fucking mind bleach handy. Apparently that bitch has had more tentacles inside her than a calamari aficionado. Shame on fucking 4chan. Next! Mason Freeman asks, why are the videos on your channel, not the podcasts, in black and white? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, man. SJ00 asks, were you guys serious about the AVGN Streets of Rage episode? He better not touch that series. Actually, he's not touching much of anything these days, aside from shitloads of Kickstarter money that he's apparently elected to pocket and run. Whatever, it's your dime, spend it however you want. I will tell you this much, though. Mike Matei needs a random slash trap to stick his little stack of dimes penis into motherfucking stat, because while AVGN the Lionheart is off on his movie-making crusade, the Sheriff of Nottingham, Mike Matei, is disabling video comments, banning people under dubious circumstances, and releasing terrible reviews of his own. If there's anything the Irate Gamer and Angry Joe have taught us, it's that some people lack the capacity to review anything. Just because you own a pencil doesn't mean you're a commercial illustrator. I'm a multi-talented son of a bitch, but I know what I can and can't do. So that does it for this installment of Fanning the Flames, I think. If you hated this, then rest secure in the knowledge that the Sainted Magnus is crouching in the bushes somewhere, counting down the seconds until he can jungle my ass and don the hoodie once again. I'm Razörfist. Bite my dick.